Schools of all shapes and sizes are affected by poor indoor air quality, noisy learning environments, and classrooms that are either too warm, too cold, or generally uncomfortable. John Lyons is a former director of the U.S. Department of Education and one of the founders of the National Clearinghouse for Educational Facilities.
The goal of a school facility is to assist and accommodate for optimal learning. And optimal learning takes place when the student is comfortable. When the teacher feels that the facility within the school is providing the best possible atmosphere so that he or she can communicate to the student.
A healthy, quiet, comfortable classroom is what every child and teacher deserves. Mary Donnelly has been teaching for more than a decade. She says parents and even administrators may not know that students and teachers face a daily battle with the environment in their own classrooms.
Air quality is a very important part of the school day, and how the children function in the classroom is a direct result as to the air quality.
The quality of the total indoor environment can have a great impact on the performance of the school and the success of teachers and students. Schools are faced with many obstacles when trying to provide a proper classroom environment. For example, the amount of air circulating in a room can determine whether a room is drafty or comfortable. The noise generated from things such as the heating, cooling, and ventilation units distracts teachers and prevents students from learning. Not providing the mandated amount of outside air will lead to an unhealthy, potentially dangerous indoor climate. Each of these factors force teachers to modify how they teach.
Teachers frequently will comment that in situations like that, they will tend to teach the harder subjects first because the students are fresh. That in the afternoon, or as the day progresses, the sunlight comes into the classroom at a greater intensity, raising the temperature level, that the students are distracted because of lunch or recess, that the CO2 levels have gone up and they're weary. And so therefore the teachers that I've talked to will tell me that they will teach the more intense subject earlier in the morning when their students are more reticent to learning.
In 2003, the California Air Resources Board and the California Department of Health Services were commissioned by the state legislature to conduct a study of indoor air quality in classrooms. The findings uncovered many concerns about the heating, cooling, and ventilation systems, also known as HVAC systems. Here are just a few of the findings. 68% of teachers reported turning off their HVAC systems due to noise. Insufficient ventilation is a direct consequence of turning off the HVAC unit. All classrooms exceeded acoustical standards set for noise levels. Researchers estimate up to 38% of students in any given classroom on any given day are adversely affected by classroom noise. Oftentimes, the amount of noise an HVAC system produces affects how much learning is going on in the classroom. Combine this with outside noise from traffic, airports, and playgrounds, and the problem is compounded.
If the air quality is good in the classroom and the mechanics of it are all working, then it's an even keel all day, and we switch from subject to subject with no problem without starting and stopping. And if they notice that whoosh, it all comes on, and whoosh, it all goes off all the time, it's a complete distraction. It's a distraction from their mindset. And when you got them for such a short period of time, you want to get all you can in with all the standards that teachers have to teach these days. It's very important. You don't have any time for messing around. You got to come in and get the job done.
We receive a lot of complaints about the noise of certain units on classrooms where teachers, in fact, will shut them off just so that the acoustics, so they can teach the class without having to yell.
Noise isn't the only problem. Student comfort is a huge issue in classrooms. Whether it's too cold, too hot, or too stuffy, the air in many classrooms on any given day is uncomfortable. The primary considerations for classroom comfort are consistent temperature, draftless operation, fresh air, and the amount of times during a day that the air changes in a room. These considerations are so important that states such as California have mandated by law proper ventilation in classrooms at all times.
We have had to turn off air conditioning units on a daily basis because it's just far too interfering with the children's ability to learn. They can't learn, they can't focus, they're not taking it in because their mind is wandering, they're looking around, they're putting their head down on their desk, they're trying to cool off, they're making those little fans and waving them, which is a distraction for everybody, not just the teacher, you know, whoever's sitting near them, and then it just goes trickle down effect. Ooh, he's making a fan, I'll make a fan. And that's a problem.
Joe Dixon, Executive Director of Maintenance and Operations for a California school district, says for years schools have been utilizing relocatable classrooms or modular space to accommodate enrollment growth. The flexibility of use, cost effectiveness of these structures, and speed of delivery make them an ideal solution for this problem. Today, the modular providers are building better classrooms than ever.
The quality of the construction compares favorably these days, if I could, to permanent construction. Compared to 20 years ago, the industry has learned a lot, and it's an excellent building.
With more and more schools choosing relocatable classrooms, facility managers have the power to design every aspect of their facilities, especially the HVAC system. With this level of control, schools can take a leading role in improving learning environments. Choosing the right HVAC system for your conventionally built school facility or relocatable modular classroom starts with understanding the benefits the right system can offer. The next generation of barred quiet climate HVAC systems operate more quietly than other systems used in schools. Bard, a Bryan, Ohio-based manufacturer of heating and cooling equipment for education facilities, is the only company to specifically manufacture a wall-mounted HVAC system for classrooms. One of the chief complaints teachers have is noise coming from the return air and supply registers in their classrooms.
It would be very beneficial to have a quiet system. You wouldn't lose time starting over. You wouldn't lose the children leaving the classroom to go up to the office because they feel nauseous, they feel sick, they have a headache, their nose is bleeding, they're making a mess. You know, it would be incredibly beneficial.
Faced with all of these challenges, what choices do school districts have that will give teachers the opportunity to do the important job of educating our youth?
There really is no way to adequately provide quality indoor classroom atmosphere with a system that is so antiquated it doesn't deal with what's going on in the classroom. And those systems simply need to be replaced.
Illness and ventilation has become a big issue in schools, not just in California, but throughout the country. And, you know, although many teachers don't understand that ventilation and air exchange is the key to preventing mold, besides having a tight envelope, of course, and not letting water intrusion in, they complain a lot about that they're getting sick or that children are getting sick.
So it's critical to make the most of the precious dollars in a school district's budget by choosing an HVAC system that keeps the classroom comfortable, adequately ventilated, and quiet so teachers and students can focus on meeting their educational goals. Choosing a barred quiet climate HVAC system can help districts accomplish this important task, no matter what kind of educational space is in use.
You're still looking for quality products that are good for learning. It doesn't matter if it's a portable classroom or if it's an entire school, if it's a multi-purpose room. The three things that I spoke about previously are still very important. You're looking for comfort, you're looking for acoustic value, and you're looking for energy savings.
Learning takes place best in an environment where there is optimal ventilation, heating, air conditioning, lighting, acoustics, and settings for the student. That they're not distracted, that the environment that's provided will allow them to learn without being concerned about or affected by the environment within that particular classroom.
Whether you are a parent, school board member, facility manager, administrator, or school designer, it is important for you to know that schools have the power to choose the right HVAC system to create the best learning environments for students.
They should be able to walk into a classroom and have the environment seamless. Like, it should not affect them at all whether the air is good or bad. It should be good, because when it's bad, we know it affects them. And it should never be an issue.
Your children deserve to learn in the most comfortable, quiet, efficient, and clean environment available.
It means there are many different shapes